Hi, I'm Max Perez from Digital Octopus, and today we're going to be installing a radio on this 2012 Chevrolet Camaro. We're going to be installing, yes, you guessed it, it's our DOTS1015 that is set to come out next year. So follow me and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a quick unboxing. So first we're going to start out with the head unit. We have a plate. This is gonna go on the bottom to take care of some of the wires. You'll see how that goes later. First we have a USB wire, which is gonna be for 2013 to 2015 Camaros that have the MyLink. So this way you can connect your USB into the center console. We have a couple of harnesses here. This one is for your rear view camera, and the other wire is going to be for in case you have a front camera, you could connect them both here. We have our RCAs for our amps out, and on this one we have our auxiliary, which is where we're going to connect our OnStar system. Two USBs, our main harness with the CAN bus, our chime speaker, car radio antenna, AM FM antenna, 4G, LTE, and Wi-Fi antenna. And finally, this is a product which we're going to be making separate as well. This is for you guys that have a rear view camera already. You can just plug this in and you could retain your factory rear view camera. So I know you guys are excited for that one. So that's about it. There's nothing else on the box, so let me show you guys how to get this installed. Come on. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this panel here. You'll remove this by using your tool, your interior tool. I'm gonna have another video for this where you can see it. Let's just open up the key, and we're gonna put this on drive. This way we can release this out of the way. Okay, so then once we have this out, this is gonna be our first step. We're gonna go ahead and disconnect this cable here, and just all you have to do is press down and release. So now the plate is all by itself. I went in and removed the other little harnesses that are in here. This is pretty much self-explanatory. So next what we're going to do is we're going to remove these two pieces and we're going to take them out. And to do that, you're just going to squeeze on these and push out, and then the cigarette lighter has a different process, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So okay, so for the cigarette lighter, you're going to have two little plastic clips that you're going to see. One of them is right here. The other one is on the other side. So we're going to start with that first, and we're going to put our screwdriver in, and at the same time we're going to do some pressure, right? So this way it doesn't come back up. And then we're going to do it to the other side, and that should release the cigarette lighter. So we're going to push this out, and we're going to feed the wire right through there. Okay, so that's out of the way. We are going to reuse those parts, so just keep them handy. Now we're going to do the plastic parts. These are pretty easier to do. All we have to do is squeeze in the little two plastic pieces and pop it out. Before, the cigarette lighter metal wouldn't allow it to come out in one piece. So there you go. So now this, of course, we're changing it. So for you guys that have the gauges, don't worry. Even though we're taking out the gauges, the radio already has it built in for you, so you won't need these anymore. Okay, so we're gonna first start with our installation for the plate, for the new plate, which is the wireless plate, and we're gonna connect these T-taps that are gonna be supplied. We're gonna just go ahead and put this one on the negative and one in the positive. There's only two. Negative is black, positive is red. And for you guys that are not familiar with installations, I recommend that you go ahead and go to your local shop and have this done for you, the entire installation. There were people before. We used to give supply these with the cameras, but a lot of people were trying to squeeze it in with their fingers, and then we had a whole bunch of problems, people calling in saying that the camera wasn't working or whatever, or the equipment, and it's because they didn't do the proper installation procedure or they weren't familiar. So if you're doing this, you need to know at least the basics of what you're doing. All right, so now we have our positive and negative. Okay, so here we have our new charging plate that is supplied, and we're gonna start by putting back our traction control and the cigarette lighter. And to do that, you're just gonna simply just push those in, and they will click in. Next, we're gonna do our cigarette lighter. So we're just gonna open this, kind of the reverse of everything we did earlier. We're gonna squeeze those through, and this should land in place once it gets down there, and it should click in just like that. So we have our assembly done. So now this is ready to basically be put back in. We're gonna need our connections here. So we're just gonna plug in whatever watt cable was here. I'm gonna plug that in. We are gonna plug this guy back, and we're left with the purple wire, which is for the main harness. This one we won't use because this is the wire that we had for the gauges. So okay, so we're pretty much done here. Now we're gonna connect our negative and positive that's supplied, and these are with those terminals we connected before. And then here you can see it's negative will be black, of course, and positive will be red, and all we have to do is just plug these in. You can go ahead and tie these wires up, put some tape on it, or get some zip ties just to get them out the way. Okay, so this is we're gonna tie these wires up here. Remember just to leave that one harness that's gonna go connected to the main one, and we're gonna leave this for last. So now we have this prepped, right? And what this is here, guys, in case you didn't know, this is a charging plate for your iPhone and most Android phones. And the way it works, it has wireless charging, and that's why we had to connect our positive and negative. When you drop your phone right here, you should hear it charging, like if you plugged it in, and you should see it charging. So that's a cool little feature that we just added to this particular unit. All right, so finally we're gonna go ahead and remove the head unit. Like I said, there's another video for this that we're gonna splice in. Right now I just have the face sitting here just so you could get a feel of what it looks like. I'm just gonna pull on it, and okay, so we're gonna remove it. And for you guys that you still haven't removed the radio, obviously this one has already been removed. We just have it here for display. You're gonna have another piece that goes here, which is the CD player, and you're gonna have 6 screws. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna take those 2 out first to take out this plastic piece, and then the other 4 to take out the metal piece that goes here. You will be left with these wires here, which are your satellite antenna, AM, FM antenna, your air conditioning control, and your main harness. Now this is if you have a vehicle that does not have the MyLink. If it has the MyLink, you're gonna have an extra harness or 2, and but we're gonna take care of that on another video. But I'll also explain in this video what those were. Okay, so now we have our space and ready to put in our new system. And actually we're gonna do our wiring first. So let me start with the chime bell that we're gonna install right here. Okay, for the door chime, the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna remove the sticker here, and we're gonna put it behind this little plate that's back here, the plastic right behind it. So we're just gonna stick this in and put it right behind, and we can just push it against this wall here. So this back of it is here, and we're gonna just let this hang for a second. Okay, so next we're gonna run our USB cables, and you're gonna have 2 of them. So there's 2 holes. If you see the inside of the Camaro here, there's 2 holes. There's one in the front and one in the back. Do it on the one in the back, and I'm just gonna open up that glove compartment and we're just gonna feed that wire right through. There you go. Okay, once that is done, same thing, we're gonna put this on the side. We'll connect these to the head unit last. Next I'm gonna connect the Wi-Fi antenna. The Wi-Fi antenna you could actually leave in your glove compartment or just stick it up here, right on top of this base right here, which I'm gonna do right now. And again, this is for your Wi-Fi antenna, so you can connect to the internet via hotspot with your phone. So just stick it in here, right on top right there. Of course, you do some wire management. I'm gonna leave that here for now. Next, we have our AM/FM antenna wire, and this goes connected to the black one. Okay, and then now we have our GPS antenna, and this you could do two things. You could drop this in your glove compartment, leave it there, it'll work fine. Some people are very picky and they rather have it somewhere higher by their glass. You can go ahead and do that by all means. We're just doing a quick installation, and an installation that works. So we're just gonna stick this in the glove compartment for now, and we're just gonna leave it there. It's the same way we did our USB. Just gonna run that through, and I'm just gonna do some wire management later. Okay, and that's pretty much all the connections that we need to run here. We don't need to run a microphone wire, as the microphone has an upgraded microphone, and it's built in, and it's built in right over here, so it sounds really good when you're talking. And we are basically ready to put our head unit in. Okay, so now we're gonna connect our harness that we have left, and we're gonna plug that right in. We're gonna go ahead and put our retainer clips from the old plate. So we're just gonna stick these in. Remember to recycle these for the plate and the radio. All right, so we're ready for the next step, which is our bottom plate and our charging plate. We're gonna do the bottom plate first, and this is pretty much the same as the previous Camaro, where we have to pull out that plastic piece that's on the bottom. Let me get the camera right in here just so you can see. Okay, so you see that here. This one is pretty much destroyed because of all the radios we've installed and taken out, but usually this will be just like that. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pull on this piece is gonna rest right up there, and it's gonna give you the space that you need to push this plate in. And we're gonna try to get that plate in between the back plastic here and this front plastic. So you're just gonna push that in right in there, and then it will land in place. And then here you'll see that it has two loops that you'll hang on right into here. All right, there you go. So now that that's done, we're gonna put our 7mm screws back on right here. At this point, I'm not gonna do it on this car because this radio is coming right back out. That is a perfect fit. All right, so now that we have our bottom plate installed, you're gonna go ahead and put your two 7mm screws back in here so you can hold this plate, and you won't need them here, obviously. We have everything ready. We have all of our wires ready to go, so I'm just gonna stick them back out, and I'm gonna go ahead and connect them one by one, and I'll show you how they go. Okay, so just grab the head unit here. But before I go ahead and start doing this, There's some wires I want to show you guys. The first wire is for the 2014 Camaro, 2014, 2015, and some 2013 that have the MyLink. They have this connection here, and this is basically an extension cord, so you could connect this to your center console. So that's going to be included there. We also have this adapter which connects to that one piece, and you could connect to the Android radio here, so this will be included. And in this case, we're not going to use the reverse camera adapter because this vehicle, the rear view camera is in the rear view mirror up on top on the OnStar system, so we won't be needing that right now. All right, so now we have the main head unit, and we're gonna go ahead and start installing these. And this is the main harness here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and plug this right on the side, this side harness, the little female to male. We're gonna just plug that right there. This controls your door locks and unlock button and your hazard lights. Just real quick, guys, if you have a 2014, 2015 Camaro and it has the MyLink, or even a 2013 with the MyLink, those radios, those cards rather, do not have the lock and unlock on the center console, so your car is not wired for that. So these two will not work for that. All right, so we're gonna keep going, and we're gonna install our power right into the radio. And these things, they only fit in one position. There's no way you could connect it in the wrong one, so don't be afraid, you know, just to poke around until you can find where it goes. Then we have our audio cables for the amp. I'm gonna plug this right in here. This is for my cameras, for my reverse camera. This is a 12 volt going out to the camera. So we're gonna plug this one right in here. Okay, so the wire that says auxiliary in, you're actually gonna put it in with the auxiliary in female. So this is your OnStar connection here. And all of this is a big loop basically, so don't be afraid of all the wires. We have our auxiliary in, and we're gonna plug that right in there, bottom right. There is gonna be another video that I will go specific where each connection goes. And the ones that says AUX in, the auxiliary, this is for the OnStar system. So we're gonna connect the OnStar system here later. So we pretty much have everything down. A lot of these stay empty, there's no need to connect them. All right, so now we have everything pretty much set to start connecting here. We're gonna start with the Wi-Fi antenna connector, and that goes where it says Wi-Fi. Okay, so next we have our GPS antenna. We're gonna just plug that right in here. Alright. Then we have our USB connection, which let's see where that goes. And like I said, this only fits in one spot, so it doesn't matter where, you know, you just try different places until it goes in. So there you go. The Bluetooth Wi-Fi, this does not need to be connected. You should be good with this. All right, so we're ready to put this back in, and the first thing we're gonna do is connect our AC power, and then we'll do the main harness last, so we could have the radio power last. So to do the AC, same thing, it's just plug and play. You'll hear it click, and finally you have your main harness. Make sure that this little thing is up here, this little level is up, and then it only fits one way. If I can't do it this way, then it's obviously that it goes in the other way. Once that goes in, this will come down. All right, so then now that we have plugged in our AC connector and our main power, you should see some power coming on the radio. And the last thing we're gonna do is remove these little plastic parts here. Yes, I saw in the comments you guys wanted a USB port right here, but that's impossible right now because this is where the screw goes to hold the radio into the panel. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just take a screwdriver and then just push these out, and now we are ready to plug this in. Now push everything in, nice and neat. So now we have the two holes here. Remember to use your retainer clips from your previous unit. Always save those. Alright, so put in your 7mm screw back in here. Same thing on the other side. And once you are complete, just put your little plastic covers on. And these go either way. It should fit either way. There you go. I'm done with this, so I'm gonna get another plastic piece and the installation will be complete. Alright, so last piece, and we are officially done. So this is pretty much what it looks like when it's installed. We have our charging plate. I'm gonna go ahead and drop my phone on the charging plate just to make sure it's working, which we should have tried this before we even started putting everything back together, but I'm pretty sure it's working. So I'm just gonna drop it in here and you should hear it. And there's the sound charging. Alright, so now this is our new interface, and as you can see, we already have our gauges, and I'm just gonna press on the gas so you can see some differences, and it's real time, right? And then it's the same as the gauges that are here in the same position. You have your temperature, or the transmission temperature here, your the voltage, oil pressure, and then your oil temperature down here. And I guess this is your coolant temperature here. No, actually, I'm sorry, this is your oil pressure. So same thing, same order as you had them in the original. The last thing I want to show you is if you are getting these text here, this is from the CAN bus change, and you're gonna see your vehicle displayed in either Chinese or Spanish or French or whatever. This is a quick fix for that. We're just gonna go right in here into our system, and we're gonna go into home. We're gonna go into console, and from console we're gonna click on console again, and then if we scroll down, I'm just gonna put the car on drive. We're gonna change the language. We're gonna change that language to English. You should have English on your dashboard there. There you go. So this is ready to go. And then again, there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things you can play with. You have your OnStar. Just real quick, the OnStar, when you can make calls, you could tell it to make calls. You can hang up when it's through OnStar, but if somebody calls you and you try to pick up through here, it's not gonna work. This also is done on the other Android radios out there, so there's really no workaround on answering the calls or closing calls through here. You have to do it on your screen. So let me just click on this here, and you should see the OnStar system there.
Thank you. Goodbye.
And now just click on it again so you can hear it.
Ready? Thank you. Goodbye.
And there you go. So thank you so much for watching. We have, like I said, new products coming out this year. Stay tuned. As we have new videos, we're going to have new videos for this. You guys stay safe and have a happy new year.